I'm Chit Juan, and for ECHOfarms, I call myself the business manager because I'm the one who's computing what goes into the farm and what we can get out of it.
ECHOfarms is Chit's agricultural lab as well as a learning ground for managing a sustainable business.
So this is our testing ground, and it's also our, you can say, our inspirational farm where ordinary people can copy what we've done here. Here in ECHOfarms, we find a lot of the vegetables that we use in our restaurant and our cafe, and also what we use in our homes. So you would find a selection of leafy vegetables like lolo rosa and romaine, arugula, and then we have a selection of the local vegetables like sitaw, sigarilyas, and then we have for the restaurants also mustard or mustasa, cilantro, lemongrass, we have pandan, malunggay, and a lot of basil for our pesto sauce. So we put it up to serve our restaurants and cafes with organic vegetables.
This demo farm is about 500 square meters. One of the natural technologies it uses and experiments with is vermicompost, an organic compost produced by earthworms feeding on organic waste.
We use organic fertilizer, which we also produce. For some people, you can try buying. There are so many farm supply stores. Here in Cavite, they have, in Manila Seedling, in Quezon City, in weekend markets, you can buy organic compost. You can make your own, of course. And there are natural farming courses and seminars which you can take. It's a one-day course that will teach you how to make your own fertilizers, your own pesticides. It's a natural farm because if you can see all those insects and butterflies, they all thrive here. And we have natural insect repellents like this one, which is the marigold. The insects eat them instead of the vegetables.
Aside from insects, they also have the solutions to deal with the country's changing weather.
We've seen the seasons change already in this farm. We have these rods, we have these sort of braces, and we put nets when the rains are really hard to protect the very, very fragile leaves. The weather has not been very kind this year, so we have to prepare for all the eventualities. When it is La Nina, you wait for the rains to stop. During the El Nino, we made sure we had a water pump. You cannot depend on nature alone. You have to water the plants, and we'd spend about a drum of water every day.
And when we talk about sustainability, we look not only at the use of what is natural, but also at how those practices become commercially viable.
Organic farming is not very easy, but now we have seen a lot of examples of organic farms that grow very good produce, and it's also profitable. Why is it profitable? Because organic vegetables demand a higher price in the market. It's profitable, but you have to have patient capital. Suddenly a typhoon comes. You can't have your last or your bottom peso in this thing. You have to diversify because farming is also tricky if you're talking risk management. That's why it's good to have other producers as friends. Because if you lose all your cilantro or your arugula, you can get from a friend who also grows it the way you do. People always say organic is more expensive. I tell them to put it in perspective because organic may be expensive on a per kilo basis, but who really eats 1 kilo of vegetables? It's very difficult to eat a whole kilo in one meal. If you look at the price difference, it's actually very minimal. Organic produce is of course more expensive because farmers like us, like we are, we don't mass produce. Okay, 2, we don't use agrochemicals. So it's more difficult for us to grow it. These days, you can see shifting choices already. You can see that more fast food restaurants are turning to fish or are offering more vegetarian choices. The consumers are now more aware of choices, whether it's free-range chicken, organic pork, grass-fed beef, or organic eggs. So I think farming will be very, very lucrative and profitable, and so with restaurants. Because at the end of the day, the biggest thing that people will always buy is food.
With organic alternatives gaining ground, starting your own farming business may be a good idea.
So for people who want to start, first is test the soil in your area. You can take it to Bureau of Soils or look around your neighbors. The more economical way of doing it is check what your neighbors can grow. Whatever your neighbors can grow, you can grow. Typically, the soil quality in one area will be the same for one barangay. You have to grow what there is a market for. Don't just grow what you think is cute. If you will, can you afford to eat all that you will grow? Or will you have to sell some? If you have to sell some, are they the variety that your market wants? Because like lettuce has so many varieties. Let's say sile has so many varieties. Well, on my trips, I take plants that I don't have here. I take them home. And so now we have our own kajos. We have our own black pepper. We have our own batuan. Batuan is something that you only find, I think, in the Panay Island.
And one of the positive effects of creating a sustainable enterprise is when your staff starts to adopt the way of life you are advocating.
Well, even my staff are also just eating organic now. Our farm manager, when her kids have like a stomach ache, they don't run and buy medicines. They take Tarragon tea. So even their medicines or things that will help us get back to good health come from the farm. We've got lemongrass. If you're hypertensive, you take lemongrass tea. And so for the last 2 years, their kids have not had any major ailment. I think because of what they eat. And also if they feel anything, there's always nature to go to for the remedies.
Like the vegetables ECHOfarms grows, Chit realizes that the growth of the enterprise spreads from a single seed.
If you want your business to go green, or if you want to have a more sustainable lifestyle, you start with yourself. And then you will find a lot of like-minded people who are probably in the same business or in a business complementing yours.
And as experienced by many, the sustainable choice in business or in one's own life has many naturally occurring benefits.
Indoor air is 10 times more polluted than outdoor air. So this is our outdoor air. It's good to come here at least once a week and smell the fresh air. Secondly, I get a high from picking the vegetable and eating it. You know, because I know it's safe. I can eat the cilantro, I can eat the arugula, and take it straight to my mouth because I know it's safe. In my experience, I know the taste if it's organically grown and if it isn't. So there is nothing like eating something you know that's good for you, that's healthy, and it's good for Mother Nature also. Well, what gives me fulfillment is when people ask me why I did it. Because it's, I think you exude that feeling of health. And so generally people ask me what I do, and I tell them I grow my own food. And that way I think what's fulfilling is that you can inspire more people to do it.